So if you're investing in crypto, you're either looking at a few different assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, these bigger coins, guys, or you're looking into something called altcoins. And pretty much these are smaller market cap coins that have a lot more potential to run, which is where most people invest their money. And in today's video, I want to talk about exactly why I don't hold any Bitcoin. I pretty much just have an altcoin portfolio. I plan on pretty much making some decent gains and rotating all of that into Bitcoin after I pretty much make a decent amount of return. There's a whole bunch of talks about exactly which is the best investment to be making in the crypto markets, and it's all based off of your risk tolerance. If you're somebody that is really scared, you want to invest into a strong asset that you know is going to be building and that overall is already, established itself in the crypto space, you're jumping towards Bitcoin and Ethereum because those are the top two coins, guys, that everyone gravitates towards. Bitcoin because it's practically, the leading thing, the whole start of crypto in general, and we're starting to see it being utilized as a hedge now, not only by individuals but also by governments and multiple other businesses as well, corporations. It's getting really crazy. We've seen Bitcoin ETFs. The average investor is able to invest into Bitcoin in a sense now, and this is where everyone's wondering exactly why would they invest in altcoins when they can invest in a good asset like Bitcoin. And the main reason is because Bitcoin is freaking huge. You're not going to get a 5-10x off of that coin, guys, because Bitcoin is already established. It's going to move based off of exactly specific regions and also exactly previous cycles and predictions based off of exactly global volatility, M2 money supply, multiple different variations, guys. So this is why we have different predictions around Bitcoin, whether it's going to hit 200,000, 300,000, 500,000, or so on and so forth. But the biggest thing to know is that most of the Bitcoin is going to be mined by 2035, which is really, really crazy to think about, which means you need to get your hands on it. Why am I not buying though right now? Bitcoin is exploding, and more than likely it's still going to be seeing a crazy rally regardless of, the red that we see in the market, the pumps and the dumps. We're going to be seeing a gradual pump for Bitcoin, and then there's going to be something called the bear market. And usually when the bear market happens, guys, we see massive deviations for all assets in the crypto markets, and that is whenever you can make a crazy steal. But there's also something called the altcoin season, and we see this happen also every cycle. And what happens is there's pretty much a flow of money. The cycle of exactly how money flows in the markets from stocks into those big market cap coins like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, and then from there into those mid caps, then low caps, and it goes on and on and on. And there's a rotation of this money, and that's why I plan on making a decent amount of money with my altcoins, waiting for the bear market and then rotating those investments into Bitcoin, into Ethereum, because I believe in those assets long term. But I would not invest into them because I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest today. I have only, a couple thousand to invest. So I'm pretty much hedging my bets on exactly what's going to explode the most, and that's altcoins. Now, there's a whole bunch of sectors, guys. There's the AI sector, there's the gaming sector, there's the meme coin sector, RWA. There's a whole bunch of sectors, which is why everyone, has their own altcoins. They tell you, you need to buy this altcoin or you're going to miss out. And there's all different types of perspectives. This is why a lot of people don't invest into altcoins, because they get rugged, they get screwed over. Most people don't know what they're investing in. They don't know the technology. This is why people invest into meme coins as opposed to utility coins. So there's a lot of different things that go into play, but the main reason why I think you shouldn't be buying Bitcoin is because if you don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars, it really makes no sense to put your money into those assets unless you just plan on throwing the money there and not thinking about it until, you're like 45 and so on and so forth. And even then, you should be looking into ways to build your capital so that you can put more money into Bitcoin, more money into Ethereum. That's how, you're going to separate yourself in the future whenever it's 2035 and 99% of the Bitcoin has already been mined and you're one of the people that has one Bitcoin. It's going to be a really crazy time, and I plan on keeping my YouTube channel all the way till 2035. So I plan on coming back to this video and, really talking about exactly the potential that was, represented. Right now, only 93% of the supply is actually mined, which goes to show that there's, still a lot of potential. There's still a lot of pumps and dumps, these 4-year cycles that take place. And right now, we're in the midst of, one of those things taking place right now. But the biggest thing, I think, when it comes to investing in crypto, most people, when they get into the space, they automatically jump into what everyone's saying, the XRP bros. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that people talk about, but Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be the biggest assets that, everyone gravitates towards. Once you start learning more about the markets, you can see the potential that you can make with a few of these assets. I've experienced it. You can go check out the rest of my content on my channel. I pretty much share the day-to-day content, the news events, the price action, my wins, my losses. There's been crazy times in the markets, guys, but right now is really an important time to really determine what assets do you want to be investing in. I know a lot of people have Bitcoin and Ethereum on the side. They have that dry powder ready to allocate, but some people have long-term portfolios and short-term portfolios. And I think at the very beginning, it makes little to no sense to have a long-term portfolio just because you're broke. You don't really have that much money. Like, you can put 5 to 10 G's in Bitcoin and Ethereum, but most you're going to get out of Ethereum is like a 2 to 3x, and most you're going to get out of Bitcoin is probably a 1x. If you're lucky, a 2x. But at the end of the day, it's just not as feasible as if I were to invest into a specific altcoin. I get a 5x on that, and then I rotate my investments, not right now, but whenever everything dumps. I'm going to be able to hold way more Bitcoin than someone that's just investing into Bitcoin or Ethereum. So this is the perspective that I try to give everyone whenever they're investing into the markets, because everyone's wondering when they first jump into the crypto markets and crypto in general, what do I invest in? Do I invest in Bitcoin? Do I invest in Ethereum? Do I invest in Solana? Do I invest in XRP? Do I invest in random altcoins? Honestly, if you do not know what you're doing and you don't plan on doing research or any of that good stuff, invest in Bitcoin and invest in Ethereum. Maybe even some top meme coins like Doge and Pepe and Solana, because Solana is also, building some really crazy stuff right now. So gravitate towards those. Like, honestly, it just makes more sense because you're not going to be doing the research, so you don't know when to buy and when to sell. And with altcoins, you need to know this because altcoins peak out at different times. And I talk about this on my channel. I have my own altcoin portfolio right here. I told you I don't hold any Ethereum, or I do hold Ethereum on the side to buy my altcoins. I don't hold any Bitcoin though. That's the biggest thing. I hold a decent amount of Ethereum. I don't hold any Bitcoin though. And the whole reason is just because it really doesn't make sense at the very beginning. Now, I want to hear everyone's perspective on this because I know there's a few people that are hearing me say do not invest in Bitcoin and they think I'm completely stupid. And I think it's because I have a strategy with what I'm trying to do and the approach that I have. And I think a lot of people have different approaches. I'm realizing that everyone plays the markets completely different. So I think if you're able to invest in Bitcoin whenever it's at 19,000, like, hats off to you. Congratulations. You're in the win, and don't sell your Bitcoin. Like, you're doing really, really well. But for an individual that's just getting into the markets, just looking into invest into everything, that wants to maximize their potential and plans on learning more, look into altcoins, look into the different sectors. Like I said, on my channel, I keep you guys updated on the day-to-day events, the price action on Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, how liquidity shifting, and practically everything you need to be aware of. So check out the rest of my content so that you can start to progress, start to learn how to navigate the space and read what matters in the markets. But that's exactly why I don't invest in Bitcoin, why I don't plan investing into Bitcoin until the bear market happens. Altcoins are going to be my savior. I'm going to make, knock on wood, I plan on making a decent amount of gains, and then from there rotating those gains into Bitcoin and Ethereum. But first, I'm going to pretty much put it into stables, wait for the bear market to hit, then from there allocate. And on this channel, I plan on showing you every single step of that process. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Make sure you drop a comment. Do not capitulate your bags. Stay tuned with exactly everything that's going on. We have some key events happening at the end of this week, which I'm going to be letting you know how it's having an effect on the market and everything else in between. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, drop it down below. Let me know if you hold Bitcoin. Let me know if you think I'm stupid for not holding Bitcoin and everything else that is on your mind. But I drop day-to-day content every day, so stay tuned, and hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. Peace.